Hey guys, it's me Chandragan, and today's video is about Wuthering Wave CBT 2 first impression. So I apologize if this video come later because I need to edit all by myself and I have stuff to do. And this is mostly the perspective from PGR and Genshin Impact player from day one. So yeah, this is why maybe you will see a lot of things that I will discuss influenced by these two games. So let's get started. So let's start first with the things that I find is neutral, neither I like it or dislike it, which is story. Stories always become a gray area in the testing period because they can even change like drastically even in the final product. So because of that, I always kind of don't want to discuss too much or invest too much in the story. But if you ask me in the current these states, the story is pretty much just fine because it's just typical of like open world games or anime games where yeah, you finally lost your memory. You come and meet person. Oh, hey, my name is this one. Oh, yeah, let me introduce this one. Oh, this one, this is important in this city. Oh, let's go to this city. Let's go to this one. I introduce this one. So it's mostly like introduction to know about this whole area, to know about this person. And then after that, maybe you play around 3 hours, you starting to get like some of the dark turns that you start to know, wow, this is already like the starting of the world building. And yeah, you already can start like, which is, I feel like, yeah, not bad. It's not really that impressed me that much, but it's okay. At the first like couple hours, it feels just introduction. It's a little bit slow, which is, I think it's normal too. That's why I say it's also neutral. I neither like it or dislike it. So this one, maybe I will report later when I do my final review about CBT 2. However, there's a couple things that I want to give price, which is their dynamic pose while dialogue is, because most of the game that I play, like say Genshin, or like Tower Fantasy or other like open world anime games like the Gacha one, it's usually the pose, it doesn't feel dynamic. They usually only spam 2 or 3 same pose. But in Wuthering Wave, they have pretty dynamic, which I feel, wow, that's actually quite good attention of details. And I feel like appreciate it. And that's a good compliment for them. And I hope they can make it even for the future story. However, there's a couple things that I find a little bit creepy, which is on some like not really that important dialogue, but it voice, some of the character in here will not have any expression. The mouth didn't even move, but they have pose, so it looks a little bit creepy. Very similar like Honkai style, which is I find it's a little bit creepy. And the next one also that's still neutral, which is the world exploration and environment. But this one you can blame me just because I play too much open world games, so it's pretty much hard to impress me. Even like in Genshin Impact right now, from Sumeru, even Fontaine, I don't even impress with the world exploration and the puzzle stuff because I play just too much open world games. I feel like I only impressed with Genshin exploration lately with the Xiaoying village, and that's it. So same with Wuthering Wave, because this is also starting point, like it's assumed same like Mondstadt, right? It doesn't really impress me that much. It's just like mostly grass and the environment just fine. It's not bad, it's not good either. It also same feels give me like feeling of Tower Fantasy for some reason, which is I think it's completely fine. It's not bad at all. However, I know that they already say they improved the scenery and stuff like that, which is probably yes. I feel there's a couple of places that looks quite nice, but it's just like for me, because maybe only starting place, I also kind of understandable because most of the open world game that I play, they start to look beautiful when you come on the feature patch later. So that's why in here I don't want to give them so much pressure or like judgment, but so far just fine. It's not bad, it's not good either. And now let's move to the things that I feel I like it about Wuthering Wave and CBT 2. And let's start with the things that I say like it shine the brightest one, or you can say the main selling point, which is the combat itself. The combat in Wuthering Wave is impressive for me. It's really good, especially if you play a game like Tower Fantasy Genshin. It feels like a lot smoother than those games. It feels like everything feels connected, flawless. It feels like fluid though. The normal attack between transition to charge, it feels so smooth. The plunging, the jump, everything feels so smooth. Like literally it's very smooth. Like not a single character from Genshin Impact feels this smooth, because in Genshin when you do normal charge attack, it feels kind of distinct, like it doesn't feel that connected very well. But in Wuthering Wave it feels connected. And then also maybe some of you that I see in the viewers saying like the movement feels stiff, the jump feels stiff, they say the gliding animation feel rough and whatever. Maybe an animation looks rough because probably this is only CBT, right? They need to polish more. But I say in terms of feeling, it's smoother than Genshin. Like gliding, movement, everything is just feels so flawless. And also the thing that I want to give compliment, which is the switching character. It's so smooth, not even close like PGR or Genshin. It's super smooth. It feels flawless, amazing. I don't know why, it just feels like you switching character feels so fluent, and I feel like it's so satisfying. And that's only the smoothness of the combat. Now we'll talk about the combat itself. The combat itself, if I have to describe, it's not similar like Genshin. It's different because Genshin is mostly elemental reaction. So in here it doesn't do like that. It feels different. It's actually more like PGR, to be honest. I feel this feels like more like PGR. You have to dodge in the right time, to have some parry, and then you do combo. But I say it's smoother even than PGR, because PGR combo, when you switch between another, doing the rotation, it still feels rough. But for Wuthering Wave, it feels a lot more fluid, that I already mentioned before. So I have to say, in terms of combat, I want to say in short, it feels like PGR but more polished. And also I want to give compliment, which is the echoes or Pokemon or pet equivalent, something like this. Is also a nice addition in here, because it also gives you stat, gives you extra movement that can help you with your combo. So it's basically helping you in your combat, that's why I already mentioned before that I hope this echoes actually can help you much in the combat, and actually they're actually help you in the combat. And I feel this is a good also additional that they put in the combat, make it even more interesting. And because we already talked about the combat, how about the difficulty that we'll discuss? And so far, if you ask about difficulty, because I only play a couple of hours, if you expect you start right away in this like hard, super hard like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, then sadly it's not. It's actually rather, I have to say, pretty easily, and I can consider even easy. You can even just mash all the buttons. You don't have to follow the mechanics. You don't even have to parry. Just like Unga Bunga or even dodge a little bit, you can even finish. I can guarantee it. So even very casual, I think they can even clear this couple of the boss though. So I don't think it will be hard. So for those people that hardcore, that seeking for challenge, you don't expect when you start this game right away, everything will be hard. No. I would say this is rather easy for me. But don't worry, because this is only early game. They already say in their developer notes that they will have a content that dedicated for the one that have high difficulty levels. So this is only early stage, so don't judge. But I only want to give notes that on the earliest stage, it's rather easy. And the next thing that I also like, which is the music and the sound effect. The music and sound effect in here is good. Everything in here is good. They support the ambience. If they're meant to be chill, they make a chill music, and I like it. Everything pretty enjoyable, nice to my ear. The combat feels intense with the music. The sound effect also very good when you breaking, let's say, the rock. I really like the impact sound, something like that. I just enjoy the sound effect. Even some of the dialogue, they have like a couple of the sound effects that immerse me, sometimes give me goosebumps. Like I really have this kind of feeling in other gacha game, but Wuthering Wave somehow managed to do that, give me goosebumps like from the sound effect. I don't know, but I feel it's pretty good. But the only thing that I wish they make it a little bit better, which is the parry sound. The parry sound in here doesn't feel that climax, doesn't feel like it's make it intense, because it's rather, I'd say, very low. Because if you play PGR, you will feel the parry sound, it feels so intense. But in this game, doesn't feel like that. I think they need to make it a little bit better to make it more intense in terms of battle, because I like the very intense parry sound. And let's move to the things that I don't like, or rather that I feel annoyed, which is I will start first, which is the moment you start the game, I already have one annoyance, which is the camera. I type of the person usually when play game, I never touch any settings. I just go right away because I'm too lazy. But in Wuthering Wave, this is probably the first game where I need to adjust the camera when I start the game. Usually the other game, I never do that. But in Wuthering Wave, I need, because for some reason, I feel like the sensitivity, it's not really suit with my kind of playstyle. I need to adjust some of the vertical, horizontal, like it needs time for me to adjust like the camera and whatever. Like it's all about the camera stuff that you need to setting up to your according to your needs, because at the best default it's not really into my likings, which is, I think this is the things that they need to improve. The camera feeling doesn't feel also that great, and some of the combat, even if you do the targeting, they will like have a weird targeting and it will kind of circling around, which is kind of weird. I think in here it's rather bug that they need to improve. And the second one, this is the things that I annoyed the most among all the other aspect, which is the text or the font size itself. Like this is the first game that visual novel based that have text like that. that for me it's very bothering. I play Persona, I play Genshin, I play Honkai Star Rail, I play Aether Gazer and other gacha game including PGR. All the text font size usually around the same or pretty much constant. They rarely change. Sometimes they change, but they rarely change. But in Wuthering Wave, they very noticeable. So some of the font size will be very big to your eyes. Some of the font size become very small. I know this is only mostly preferences, or maybe for some people that have like OCD maybe, but for me it's very disturbing. Like, I don't like seeing font size suddenly bigger, suddenly smaller, suddenly big. It keeps changing, and it gives vibes that they intended to do just to want to fill this bar itself, like the column and the row. So sometimes when the text is just not much, they just make it big, but sometimes if the text or dialogue is pretty much kind of a lot, they make it small. I don't like that kind of feeling. It's very bothering me a lot. But again, in the end, I say this is mostly only preferences. I hope in the future they have settings where they have option that the dynamic font size or just like the constant font size, so I will not suffer from this like big and small font size. And the lastly that I want to add that, yeah, although I already say the combat, animation, everything feels smooth, they still have couple of stuff that they need to improve. Whenever I do like couple of the movement and stuff, I already find bug, especially when you spam too fast some of the attack. They will have a weird movement, which is I find like it's quite ridiculous, funny, but for me, for the final product, this is not really great. They need to fix it to make it more polished, but understandable since this only the beta test, right? That's the meaning of this test, to find which one is actually quite broken, have bugged. So this one that I think they need to finish or make it more polished. And couple things I want to add that I forgot to mention. Actually, this is supposed to be a neutral side, which is the UI. The UI for me, it's just whatever. It just give me the feelings of Genshin or Honkai Star Rail. Nothing much feels that difference. I feel like UI is always rare to impress me. So far, UI that really impressed me only Final Fantasy and Persona. So that's why I just feel it's neutral. It's fine. And lastly, about Gacha. The Gacha I don't want to talk much because I want to make a dedicated video about this, about the spender and the whales and the free-to-play, like the package shop, including the Gacha itself. But all in all, I would say the Gacha in here, if I want to make very short, it's better than Genshin but worse than PGR. So long story short, it's around 80 PT for both weapon and character, but the weapon is 100%. And the character have 50-50, so yeah, something like that. It's very similar with Genshin, to be honest. It's just like a little bit better because lower PD. So that's everything about my first impression about Wuthering Wave Day 1. And I want to say this game all in all looked promising, but for sure I have to say this game really need more polish. This game still feel like this is a testing game, not a full release, because I've heard some of people say this game is already feel ready to launch. For me, it's not. Especially this client or this patch, it still feel like this game is a testing period game. Still need a lot of stuff that they need to polish. So that's everything so far, but of course I will play more to digging in what's things that I maybe can change my mind or even have stuff to add. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit super button and like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.